On January 24th, 2024, officers responded to an Avis budget facility after management reported a clocked-out employee returning to access a company vehicle he had moved without authorization hours earlier.
I got it, man.
Earlier today,
What's going on, man?
I witnessed this car.
What's going on out here?
A mishap happened with the car.
A what?
A mishap happened with the car.
Mishap?
I stored the car in the wrong location.
Oh, okay. Is your car?
Down at 36.
I work here.
You work here?
I work here.
So,
This car is it's the company's car.
so where were you supposed to store it then?
I didn't want to know where it went, so I dropped it off here and I went back over there and got another car and took it where I had to take it to.
You took another car?
Because I had to.
Yeah. So did you take two cars then?
Yes, I take it to the airport.
Okay. So you said you work out here?
Yes, sir.
For who?
I work for Avis Budget.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys
Yeah, so he drove it from over there.
do you have your driver's license with you?
I have my social.
Do you have an ID or anything like that?
Yes, I do.
So what time did you come in today?
Came in at 7 this morning, 8 this morning.
8. You're still on or did you get off already?
I just clocked out.
Okay.
So earlier today, I witnessed this car leave the Avis lot, park in this lot. He got out of it.
Okay.
He just got off work and said that he had left the car here, left the keys in it, which the keys were not in it when I looked at it an hour ago.
Okay.
Got in the car that was locked because I came out and checked. There was no keys and the car was locked. Got in it and we blocked him in before he could take off. But
Okay. I'm going to assume y'all want prosecution, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there a video that we can get of that vehicle coming out here? Do you guys have that?
he didn't drive this one out here. I didn't give him a chance.
Okay, so when you guys blocked
Yeah, so he drove it from over there at 10:54 this morning.
Okay.
Parked it here. Normally we don't back cars in here.
Okay.
He got off work a few minutes ago. Witnessed him come out to the car
Okay.
after I'd already seen him leave the car at like 10:55 this
Okay.
morning. He came out and he's telling me that the keys were in it, and I asked him what he's doing now, and he said he was just getting in the car to.
Okay, so did you witness him get in the car at all? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Texas DL 442-820.
Okay, so what's going on, bud?
Honestly, sir, okay, I transport cars. Earlier, when I transported this car, when I got out the gate, my team had already left. So they told me to park the car at PM. I recently just started working here. I didn't know where to park the car. I brought it over
Who's
here.
they? You said they told you to. Who's they?
It was a guy over there. It was a guy over there.
Okay, give me a detailed description.
He cleans out the cars. All I know is he came up to me and said, put this car in PM. And I didn't know where it went. So I brought it over here. I've seen someone bring a car over here, drop it off, because they didn't know where it went. I left the car here, went back over there, got another car, and went to go finish doing my job.
How long you been doing this?
You talking about this job? I've been doing it 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I've never had to deal with the PM before. That's what I'm saying.
So you said you were already clocked out, right?
I just clocked out.
You just clocked out?
I just clocked out.
So then they told you to get the vehicle after you were out of work or something?
No, sir.
So what were you doing? What were you trying to do since you had already clocked out?
I was nothing. I'm getting ready to go home.
You were getting ready to go home?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So why are you getting in this car? You realize that this story, you know what a submarine is, right?
Sir?
You know what a submarine is, right? Like goes under the water, you know, U.S. Navy uses them. You know what a screen door is, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your story's like a screen door on a submarine. It ain't making a bit of sense and it ain't holding no water.
Sir, I bought the car. I'm telling you exactly what happened. I bought the car. I did not know where it went. I left it here, sir. I left the car here, so I went back to fulfill my job duty. I went back over there, got another car like I was supposed to, and I took it where it had to go.
What time did they tell you to take it to PM?
I dropped this off like around 12, so I would say around 12 in the car. I've been here, sir. I just got off work.
So an unknown dude, white dude, black dude, Asian, Hispanic?
Hispanic.
Okay, so unknown Hispanic dude that you can't give me a description of told you to drop it off at PM.
Yeah.
So who's your boss? What's his name?
I would say they're my boss.
Okay, so who did you ask where PM was? Because when my sergeant tells me something, do something that I don't know, or go someplace where I don't know, I go, hey man, I go, hey man, I need a little bit of help. Can you talk to me? I'm not sure where to go and all that. So who did you talk to get any clarification on that?
My crew had left. So like I said, I've seen someone.
Okay.
I've seen I've seen someone do exactly this before. So I did it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Tell you what. What we're gonna do right now? Face that fence. Face the fence. Okay. Right now, you have a warrant for your arrest, minimum out of San Antonio. We're confirming that. So you're not under arrest at this point in time, but you are being legally detained. Okay, you have anything on you that's going to poke us, stick us, stab us, blow us up, anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay, because he's going to pat you down real quick.
Yes, sir.
Because, like I said, you realize this story makes zero sense that you're telling me. I mean, just be honest. Be 1,000% honest. So you're telling me that you're such a good employee, that working for the temp company and everything?
I'm not working with the temp company. I work directly with Avis Budget.
Okay, so you're telling me that you're such a good employee that after you clocked out, you're going to keep moving cars for them for free?
No, I wasn't moving.
Well, you said you've already clocked out and you were gone for the day and you were coming over to this car.
This car has been sitting here since 12.
Okay, but you told us already you clocked out for the day. And that you were coming over here. Okay. All right, I'm gonna verify something with them.
Yes, sir.
And we're gonna go from there.
So Corey, when he brought the car over here, was he supposed to bring it over here? He wasn't supposed to bring it over here.
He has no business bringing it over here.
How did he get it over here?
He drove it with me. He drove it over here, parked it, locked it, and then did his job with the crew. And then after he clocked out, he came and got in it. We checked the car; it was locked. With his room.
Y'all seen the car over here?
Yeah, we caught it on camera.
Oh, y'all seen it?
What key is he out there?
The key to the car.
So he got the key from where?
The only key.
He brought it from across
over
the
here,
street.
across the street.
Drove it over here and parked it earlier today. Locked it all up, and then got in the van and did his job. When he clocked out, he came and got in it
Then he take the car.
to take the car.
Hello, Corey. How are you, sir? It's always me. How you doing? All right. So, does he work directly for y'all?
Yes.
Okay.
Reports to me and to
So, were they informed that they are not allowed to have any vehicles out here whatsoever? Okay. So,
Where did you find it?
his story to us right now is that he was told to take the car to PM. He didn't know where PM was. His team already left, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we all kind of know that the story, like I told him, it holds about as much water as a screen door on a submarine. So verifying that y'all are going to press charges, all that. So if it's here, you can definitely say unauthorized use of motor vehicles because they don't have the permission to park those cars here unless given to by one of y'all, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
You certainly could have asked the supervisor where do I park it.
And he even admitted to me. I said, so if you don't know where to park the car, who do you ask? And he goes, I asked my lead. And I was like,
Yeah. I've heard the usual story. They told me. Who's they? I don't know.
So what was he gonna do with the car now?
Oh, he?
What was this?
He goes, well, I already clocked out. And I go, so you're telling me you're such a good employee that you're going to keep shuttling cars after you've clocked out for the day? All right. Well, tell you what, at this point, you are under arrest for what's called UUMV, unauthorized use of motor vehicle. I verified, trust me, I know these folks over here. I've been on more calls with them than my partner here, actually, for the time that I've been here. That you aren't, they told me that you have been instructed that you are not, under any circumstances, to put a vehicle in this lot.
I was not instructed.
Okay, but I'm not going to argue. I've dealt with them on some pretty unsavory stuff. Okay, I know their word is solid. Okay, so when they tell me that you've been instructed when you were employed that no cars come in this lot unless specifically instructed by one of them, that's UUMV. You were not allowed to drive that vehicle over here or anything like that. So that's going to be one arrest charge. Then we're going to see what that warrant out of San Antonio does. So you're going to have the warrant added to your arrest as well. Okay, go ahead and stand up because now you're going to be searched.
Turn around for me, Mr.
Excuse me, I was never notified that I couldn't bring a car over here. I was bringing home. Got that out of the car.
Huh?
Got that out of the car?
Yeah, that was in one of the
Oh,
cars.
you turned it in. Hey, Corey.
I really just thought about it, honestly.
Corey. What's the name on that one?
So was that driver's license that you gave me originally? That was yours, right?
That's mine.
I don't want to hook you up on a warrant that ain't yours. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
That's why I'm asking.
Nah, that was in a car that we cleaned, and man, we was moving so much that I just didn't turn it in.
This your wallet?
Yes, sir.
This yours?
Yes, sir.
I'm just saying, this your wallet.
Yes, sir.
Was that somebody else's?
It's mine. Like I said, I was cleaning out a car, and I just so happened to forget to turn it
He
in.
said you don't clean the car.
Corey, we moved the car. I'm saying that was in it.
We got extra stuff too.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, 2 pieces of identifying information, credit cards.
Oh, nice.
Supposedly it was in a vehicle. He forgot to turn it in.
Okay, well, too bad. Let me inform him of that.
That's going to be possession of identifying information. And then we can call the guy and see if the credit cards were used to it.
Yeah.
We might have to more to it. Credit debit card or two. But the manager is going to check and see if somebody had a reservation with that name too.
Okay. All right, Cameron. All right. Because you have these things in your possession right here, you're also going to be charged with fraudulent use or possession of identifying information. You said that you found them in the car and all that. If you'd have turned them in, that'd have been something different. So that's going to be.
We've been moving.
And they have processes that when you find stuff in the cars, you go and you turn that in immediately.
So we've been moving around so much today, so it slipped my mind, sir.
Okay. And if you use them, then there will be additional charges follow, okay? All right, I'm just giving you the heads up. Thank you.
You have his real ID?
Yeah. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, okay. Yeah, so those are yours. Who found those?
He did.
You did? Okay. All right, that's even better. UUMV doesn't say it has to be on a public road, and he's not allowed to bring it in here anyway. So the second you brought it in here, there's your UUMV. We'll do the fraudulent use. He said that he found them earlier in the car, didn't turn them in, but hey, you know, he's off the clock at this point, so too
like
bad.
I said, there, the manager is going to pull the reservation, see if anybody even had a reservation with that name.
Okay.
You going any additional other than UUMV?
Fraudulent use of fraudulent use / possession of identifying information, 5 or more.
The detention was lawful before the officer asked a single question. A named witness personally saw the subject move the vehicle that morning, confirmed the car was locked with no keys an hour later, then watched him return after clocking out. That clears the Terry versus Ohio threshold. Every statement the subject made during that field interview was admissible without Miranda. Berkemer versus McCarty established that an investigative detention, however restrictive it feels, is not custody for Fifth Amendment purposes. Miranda attaches at arrest, not before. The subject gave 3 contradictory accounts in under 4 minutes. A supervisor directed him. He followed what he had seen another employee do. He was already clocked out and heading home. Each version is incompatible with the others. All 3 are on camera. Illinois versus Gates established that probable cause is assessed on the totality of circumstances. A witness account, management confirmation, a locked vehicle with no keys at midday. 3 mutually exclusive explanations. By the time the officer announced the arrest, probable cause was not close. Texas Penal Code Section 31.0-7 requires intentional operation of another's vehicle without the owner's effective consent. The statute says nothing about public roads. The subject drove the vehicle from the Avis lot to the adjacent lot at 10:54 in the morning. Location was legally irrelevant. Avis management confirmed on camera that employees are prohibited from parking in that adjacent lot without explicit direction from management. No such direction was given. Effective consent was withheld, which is the only element beyond the act of operation itself that the statute requires. The wallet changed the charge sheet. Inside, a customer's driver's license and multiple credit cards. Texas Penal Code Section 32.51 prohibits possessing another person's identifying information without consent and with intent to harm or defraud. That explanation collides with the statutory presumption. Subsection D states that possession of identifying information from 3 or more persons raises a rebuttable presumption of intent to harm or defraud. The burden shifts to the defense. I forgot is a jury argument, not a statutory defense. 5 or more items of identifying information elevates the offense from a state jail felony to a third-degree felony. The officer confirmed that threshold on camera. Third-degree felony in Texas carries 2 to 10 years in state prison, a different institution and a different sentence structure entirely. The outstanding warrant is not a footnote. A confirmed active warrant from any jurisdiction is independent grounds for custodial arrest. Both the vehicle charge and the fraud charge could be dismissed later. The arrest would still survive. Fourth Amendment review. The officer earns a B+. Letting the subject talk before moving to arrest was deliberate. It produced 3 contradictory accounts, all voluntary, all admissible. Verifying with management on camera before announcing the charge created contemporaneous documentation worth more at trial than any supplemental report. The gap. When the wallet appeared, the officer announced the charge and moved on without pressing the follow-up. When were the items found? Was a supervisor notified? Where was the wallet between discovery and end of shift? Those answers would have directly addressed the intent element, whether possession was deliberate or inadvertent. Without them, the prosecution must establish intent through the statutory presumption alone, which is doable, but leaves a gap the defense will target. The subject receives a C+. Cooperative throughout, no resistance, no flight, and that kept the situation from escalating. Returning to access a company vehicle after clocking out without documented authorization created the vehicle charge. The wallet created the felony. A first-time offender on the vehicle charge alone might resolve it with deferred adjudication probation, no conviction on record. The fraud charge changes that. 2 to 10 years, state prison on the third-degree felony. If the cards were used, Section 32.31 adds a separate charge. 3 lessons. First, every statement before a formal arrest is admissible without Miranda. 3 competing explanations are now in evidence. Staying silent during a Terry stop costs nothing, closes that evidentiary door, and requires no justification. The right exists. Using it is a choice. Second, Texas's unauthorized use statute requires no public road. Moving a company vehicle without authorization 40 feet across a lot after clocking out is sufficient. When authorization is in doubt, especially after clocking out, get written confirmation before touching the vehicle. Third, rental car companies have documented lost and found procedures because customers leave items in vehicles constantly. Keeping a stranger's driver's license in a personal wallet overnight, regardless of intent, places the holder inside a statute that presumes guilt at 3 items. The procedure protects employees as much as customers. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic that you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out our channel for even more police interaction and courtroom content.